Hey, greetings everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Plan B Success. Today, I'd like to ask you a question. Is there a shortcut to self actualization? Before we get into it, let me explain what I mean by self actualization. You might have heard of the theory of hierarchy of needs by Maslow when he studied human behavior really well and propounded that theory. To refresh you about that theory, it came about in the 1940s, I believe, and human behavior is motivated to fulfill needs, is what Maslow came up with. He believed that our behavior as humans is motivated to fulfill needs in a certain order. And the order is pretty logical, so to speak. Recently, there have been articles around some tweak to the Maslow's theory of hierarchy of needs. I'm not going to get into that, but I believe the original Maslow's theory was pretty logical. And the way human needs need to be fulfilled in order to motivate them to get to that next higher level of needs starts at the beginning with the physiological needs. Now, it's these needs that keep the wheels of human interaction going, the human motivation going, and we need to understand it really clearly. Now, if you're struggling to fend for yourself, if you're worried about where your next meal is going to come from, guess what? Your immediate need is the physiological need. The need for food, clothing, and shelter, that needs to be fulfilled first. And until and unless your hunger is satisfied and your basic needs are met, you just cannot think of the next set of needs, according to Maslow's theory. Once your hunger is satisfied and you have taken care of it, not just for today, but also for the near future, then you look to the next need or the next level of needs, which is the need for safety. And here's where you start looking at finding shelter. The need for safety, the need for belongingness, and love. That comes into play as well. So you start looking at finding your shelter and companionship. And once you have found your shelter, companionships, like I said, basic needs are met. Now you want to defend what you have built for yourself. And that's where safety comes into play. So you need to defend what you have built to be safe. Now, living a relatively secure life, after your basic needs are met, your companionship needs are met, and then you are in a safe shelter that you've built for yourself, and you have a pretty secure life. You're pretty satisfied with it. Now you crave for the next level of needs, your self-esteem needs. You crave for recognition. You crave for a status in society. And most of that is achieved with your professional position, whatever profession you're in. And it's further extended into societal placement, where the society puts you, the recognition that you have within the society. So that's how your self-esteem needs are met. Now, all along, it is primarily about elevating yourself in your own eyes. When you really look at it, it's not about what the society thinks about you, it's your needs. It's about you placing yourself up high on a pedestal in your own eyes. And finally, when you have all of this, your basic needs are met, you have shelter, you have companionship, your self-esteem needs are met, you have recognition in society, you're in a great job, and you have a status in society. When all of these needs are met, then the need to fulfill your intrinsic needs comes into play. With all the external needs met, now the intrinsic needs come into play. This is where your creativity, your interest in self-expression, through your passion, whatever your passion is, acting, singing, dancing, writing, whatever it might be, it comes into play, and you want to achieve it to the best of your abilities. The goal at this point is personal satisfaction and happiness, oblivious of all that it could entail in terms of name, fame, and money. It's no longer about the extrinsic value put on you. It's not about the name, it's not about the fame, it's not about the money. It's for you to satisfy your creative itch, so to speak. It's for you to satisfy your creative needs, and that's where they come into play, and then you start working on them. Sometimes this is also called the point of spiritual realization. You're moving away from the material side of the world to the immaterial side of the world, and that's why it's called spiritual realization. And that's where the last of Maslow's theory of hierarchy of needs is self-actualization. And that's the point you get to at this level. Now, coming back to my question, is there a shortcut to self-actualization? Well, Maslow believed that in order to fulfill the need for self-actualization, all your other needs that we just went through, your basic needs, your safety needs, your self-esteem needs, all of them had to be met, had to be not only satisfied but mastered before you're ready to get to that level of self-actualization. Well, on this particular note, I beg to differ. I believe there is a shortcut to self-actualization. There are several amongst us that pursue a passion as a profession for the love of it. This allows for our creativity to peak since we enjoy what we do. Happiness and bliss become perennial. They are just a part and parcel of your passion as well as your profession because they are the one and the same thing. And as a result, you're in bliss. You're always happy because you're doing what you love. Self-esteem is also at its peak, or you're just unaware of it and you don't really care because you're just happy doing what you're doing. Name, fame, money really don't matter to you at this point, but name, fame, and money do follow when you excel at what you do. So whether you want it or not, they will follow you. It's often said that in order to be successful, pursue your passion, not money or other emoluments. For when you obsess over these emoluments, success eludes you. But when you obsess over your passion, what you really enjoy doing, success will follow you. Everyone out to achieve success dismisses the struggles that they had to go through. It's true. Nobody really makes it to the top without going through their own share of struggles. Yet, a lot of people dismiss the struggles they go through. They don't really care about it. They don't mind them. They recognize the sacrifices that they made but do not pay much attention to it at all. Why? Because they're in pursuit of what they truly enjoy and they are just enamored by what they're doing and what they're enjoying that they don't mind the struggles they've been through. Ultimately, success happens. In more cases than not, the people that are going through this are even oblivious to success when it happens. They practice a passion for the love of it. And success, which in worldly terms means the fulfillment of all the other needs, follows through. So in this case, the other needs are met as a result of the success they have in pursuing their passion. Even if it doesn't follow through, even if all those other things, the worldly emoluments that we just talked about, don't follow through to the extent where you can say that they have mastered those other needs, such people really don't care, for they are so absorbed in practicing their passion, and that itself is success for them. That's what they regard as success. That is self-actualization, and it can be independent of all the other needs that we just discussed as a part of Maslow's theory. As someone said, it's not the destination, but the journey that needs to be experienced and enjoyed. What more can be a better outcome than this? Hey, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Please make sure you subscribe to Plan B Success Podcast on your favorite platform or go to planb.live. That's where you'll find all the episodes. Do subscribe so that you're alerted every time there's a new episode. Please make sure you spread the word. Please let your friends, family, and others know about this podcast so that they may benefit from it as well. Thank you very much.